What up, what up, what up? It's your boy. I'm your host, Draper J, aka Brother Baldhead, aka The Mustache Menace, aka Mr. Brown Sipper. And I'm back. Like Stephen A. Hairline to hit you with another episode of Monday Night Mafia. Over here at All About the Bills. Hope everybody, if I can get the words out, excuse me. Hope everyone's going through their day. No obstacles, no disruptions. As the title of the show is, I'm going over all the Buffalo Bills offseason moves, from the extensions, signings, and restructures, and also going over a little bit over the draft. All right, now let's jump right into it. All right, first and foremost, if you've been hiding under a rock, I don't know where you've been or not. The Buffalo Bills and the rest of the league, they brought out all the NFL scheduling for the year. All right, now let me go over it right quick. I had a schedule prediction that I was putting out. I posted over all of my social media sites, and I was extremely wrong. So, first week, we face week one. We faced the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week two, the Miami Dolphins. Week three, the Washington Football Team. Week four, we faced the Houston Texans. At home, on the road against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, on the road again against the Titans. Week 6? Yeah, week 6. We faced the Titans. Week 8, we face the Miami Dolphins again at home, and we on the road, 2 games in a row, the Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, and we at home against the Indianapolis Colts. We got the Thursday night game, which is the Thanksgiving game. We're not playing the Cowboys. We get to finally get a night game right there as far as on Thursday night. And we got the New England Patriots. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll get to them in a second. After that, we got the Carolina Panthers at home. Then we got the New England Patriots once again. We got the Atlanta Falcons. Then the end of the season at home against New York Jets. All right. Now, let me jump right into the games I'm most excited to see. First, let me go over the honorable mentions. First, let me thumb through my notes. All right. First, we got Pittsburgh Steelers. That's week 1. Now, reason why I'm very excited to see, that's like an honorable mention on that aspect, because that game there, this may be Big Ben's last season. Maybe he seems to kind of want to hold on, but it might be his last season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe he might be about to pull a move, may go somewhere else. But as it looks like this is his last season playing football. So there's a very big game. Normally those games against the Pittsburgh Steelers, when we play them, are always interesting. All right, now in the Josh Allen era, he's 2-0 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1-0 versus Big Ben. Now, in this game, I want to see, can he go 2-0 against Big Ben? Really wanted to play Big Ben that first year, but it didn't work out like that. We got Duck Hodgins. But the next year, okay, we showed that we actually can beat that team with Big Ben. And they wouldn't. Their collapse they had at the end of the season, I don't really just put that as that's them. They're a well-coached team. Mike Tomlin, he's always keeping his team coached up the right way. So I think that's going to be a very big game for us in the beginning of the season. I say that's one of my honorable mentions, but not one of the most games, one of the biggest games that I want to see. Next, you got the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, now the storyline in that game, you got Carson Wentz reuniting with his offensive coordinator, who is now the head coach over there at the Indianapolis Colts, which is Frank Reich, which is a Buffalo Bills Mafia fan favorite, the comeback kid, right? So I want to see the same team that we played in the playoffs. Just what that was the first game, the wild card weekend. Now they don't have Phillip Rivers. Now they have a younger quarterback. Let's see, can Carson Wentz come back to that form? Is he really just broken, or he just needed that support system that he's always had, which was Frank Reich, which was that season when, even though they made it to the Super Bowl, he wasn't the one who won it, which was Nick Foles. But they ended up, 13-3, and they were talking about Carson Wentz as MVP nominee that season. So I want to see, is Carson Wentz, can he bounce back? And I believe even whatever Carson Wentz turns out to be, in my mind, I believe that still would be a good game. All right, next on the honorable mention, you got the Tennessee Titans. All right, now we all know the run game last season or so, last couple seasons, has been our Achilles heel. Did we do enough in the draft to be able to kind of stop the run? Let's see, do we have enough to stop the run this season? And we can't let Derrick Henry run free. I don't know if Josh Norman may come back, but let's hope not. We don't. This is I believe it's a Monday night game again. Let's hope that we don't get embarrassed and we actually can compete in the game this season. But I think hopefully that we did enough this year to stop the run, because Derrick Henry, he's a load to bring down by himself. He's a 200-yard game guy. I think our defensive philosophy need to be that game. We just need to stack the box, stack it up, and make Ryan Tannehill beat us from the pocket. Of course, he did his thing last season, but I don't foresee him doing that every game. I believe the real Ryan Tannehill will show up sooner or later. All right, now let me throw that graphic back up as I go over the games that I'm most excited to see. All right, now, Kansas City. Once again, I want to know this draft, this offseason, did we do enough to beat this team? This would be a test to see maybe down the line in the playoffs or so, maybe if we can both make it back there, the AFC Championship again. We know what it was like to play them when we didn't have a pass rush. Let's see if we can get a pass rush, because we have plenty of offense. I have no doubt in my mind that we have plenty of offense to match them. And then the reports are starting to come out now. I think Steph Diggs put it out there. I think he was playing with a torn oblique. And Cole Beasley, he wasn't all the way healthy. So that kind of gives me an idea. If we had a healthy Stephon Diggs, we had a healthy Cole Beasley, then, John Brown was in and out of the lineup. Now we have Emmanuel Sanders, who really, to me, even though he's older, should be an upgrade from John Brown. He's a route running technician. Next, TB12, Tampa Bay. Now, I'm most excited to see this game because this is the guy that's been tormenting us for years and years and years. We had one close chance, like in 19, where Smoke did the post corner route, the post corner route that lost Stephon Gilmore, and he scored a touchdown. That put us up, and then I just knew at that point we were gonna win, but we didn't win that game. That's close we came, and last year, we got over that hump and we beat the New England Patriots, but without Tom Brady. This game here, I want to see, can we actually finally close the door on that Belichick, Tom Brady shadow they've cast over us. And I think now that we do have the team to be able to compete with the Super Bowl champs. Now, this last one, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some people may be like, Jacksonville Jaguars, why would you put them up there? But it's all about the ratings, and it's all about the storylines with me. I want to see what this young rookie looks like, Trevor Lawrence, against Josh Allen. And to me, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but it may just be me. Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of like in that mode of Josh Allen. He's very mobile. He can throw the ball, has strong arm. I think Josh's arm is stronger, but I think the kid is actually he's actually NFL ready. I want to see what he looks like against Josh Allen. It's going to be a quarterback duel, and I think they put together a decent team that could compete this year, but I really don't want us to lose to Trevor Lawrence. I want to see Josh be that veteran in the league when these young kids come up like the Zach Wilson and all those Trey Lances, that he just sons all of them. You know what I'm saying? Makes them seem like, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, because it's going to take a little bit more to beat them as we are looking at the Kansas City Chiefs. Tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think about those games? Which game are y'all excited to see this next upcoming 2021 season? Let me get into some of these comments. My guy, Iron Mike, appreciate you for checking in. We did not do well in that game. Of course, Titans and the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the Titans and the Chiefs. The Titans' toughness is always a problem for us, of course, because they got our kryptonite over there in running back. Somebody that's built like a truck. That it seems like this year, I'm hoping that we did enough. I'm hoping it was just like the scheme, or maybe whatever it was, the scheduling, how everything went, I'm hoping this year that we can stop that run and we can get back to that top 5 defense. Because if we can't stop the run, then you got, like say, Indianapolis. Then, hey, Pittsburgh picked up Najee Harris. I mean, you know, even though he's a young running back, we've been getting gashed by the likes of Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, to me, who knows how his career may end, but he's not a Hall of Famer. So Miles Sanders can gash us. We're not, you know, those when we're talking about gap integrity and all that good stuff there. Let's just hope this season we did enough to be able to stop the run, as well as Josh gone ahead continues to progress. All right, now let me take a pause for the calls. If you check me out over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The hashtag AATB is in. Let's make this thing trend. All right, now, if you check me out over on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date on everything all about the Bills. All right, now, let me jump into this next. Before I get into the draft and how we fared and my take on each one of those draft picks, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this question here. All right, the running game issues. All right, if you've been following me from day one or during this offseason, I've had a checklist. Who's the issue with the running game? Is it Dabol? Is it the running backs? Or is it the line? Who's the blame? What do y'all think? Because at first, okay, to me, it got to be the line. Because the line was doing different things this year. Maybe we wanted to be heavy-handed with Josh. But then we brought back all the linemen pretty much. And Cody Ford, he's going to have to play guard this year. That's what he fits in this. So it wasn't the line. All right? If we sign all those guys back, it can't be the line, right? So next, only 2 other issues is running back and Dabol, the guy who was calling the plays. So and this was my mindset going into the draft. If we don't draft the running back, which we didn't, and I think Matt Breida was kind of like an insurance policy, just in case the right guy didn't fall to us, we'll at least already have somebody. But we didn't draft the running back. Got the linebacker, then draft the running back. And to me, that only leaves one issue. It got to be Dabol. It has to be him. The reason why he's just not using the running backs in the proper way. Because I can't really remember how many times we ran screens this year with the running back. And both of the guys, Zach Moss and Motor, they're very capable in the screen game. We want to run it. And then there was certain games this year that I could count probably they had maybe 7 touches apiece. And that was just carries. Didn't really even try, like I said, didn't try the screen game. So Dabol is going to have to come on with it this year. I understand Josh was playing out his mind. He was playing like at an MVP, Pro Bowl type of level. But, I mean, you can't keep giving the ball to a young quarterback and expect him to always come through, even though Josh has done it. Even in his early career, he has I've documented that on a few of my shows. He has, I think 11 4-quarter comebacks and 8 game-winning drives or something like that. 10 game-winning drive, which is what you need when your quarterback can get you out the jam. And no matter who they're playing, no matter what the situation is, if he can bring you out on the other end with a W, that's what you want. But we got 3 talented running backs. We're gonna have to start using these guys. What do y'all think? Tell me what y'all think in the comment. Am I right? Am I on point with that, or am I just I'm being too hard on Dabol? But that's the only thing I could say that we didn't do right or do proper this season. We didn't run the ball well. If we'd have had a good running game in certain games, maybe like even in the first Chiefs game, that could have stopped him from getting the ball back so much, and then it wouldn't been so much on Josh. Now, let me jump in this comment right quick. My guy, Iron Mike, chiming in. I think 70% line and 30% Dabol. I think the line has the talent, but the mindset wasn't right. I can kind of agree with you on that. I mean, you got to think about it. The year before, pretty much had the same line except for Big Quinn Spain, Tyne Second, who was rotating in and out. Pretty much same continuity. I think it's just, I don't know. I think Dabol was more or less, and I go over and saying maybe it's like 80% Dabol, Because, I mean, you got the pieces there. You got the running backs back there. Josh shouldn't be our leading rusher. By no means. I mean, that should be like a element that we use in our offense to depend on Josh at times. But he shouldn't be the leading rusher. He shouldn't be always the one that you're designing run plays for. Of course, in any sport, basketball, football, even baseball, I guess, you want your best player to always be in the position to win, which in football and basketball, more or less, they can actually put the ball in their playmaker's hand more often than none, right? But I really think that we really need to come on with that run game this season. But that's just me. That's just me. It's one man's opinion. Let me know. All right. Taking another pause for the cause. If you check me out on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The hashtag AATB is in. If you check me out over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell to make sure you stay up to date on all things, all about the Bills. Now, let's jump into, let me take this down. All right, now, the Bills 2021 draft. And then this cover is from the draft show recap. I encourage any of you to go out there and check it out when you get a chance. So now let's get into let's get into the picks, who we picked up and what I think about these cats. All right. Now, first up, we got Groot. I never knew that was his nickname. Somebody said it on I think Twitter somewhere. Okay, now with Gregory Rousseau, let me throw through my note. All right, what I liked about him, and even with Carlos Boogie Basham, I thought more or less like Gregory Rousseau or Boogie Basham is going to be there at 30. Not both of them. But it worked out to where we got one first round, then it worked out to where we got the other one second round. So if in the perfect world for me, I think we could have flipped those picks and got Boogie first, then Gregory Rousseau, then I say that was amazing. That was amazing haul, but it's still all good. We got both of them anyway. But what I seen from Gregory Rousseau on film is, all right, he can play multiple positions, long frame. Even if he doesn't get to the quarterback, he can reach those hands out, knock down passes, and he never quits. See, that's one thing that I like about the picks they gotten, even in this draft. It's like everyone is versatile, even the defensive line, but they can play all over the line. They can from one end to the other end. I don't think they're big enough probably to play one technique. We saw what happened to Ed Oliver when he played out of position this season, trying to take on those double teams. It really to me stunted his growth. But I think he's a good 3 technique, and push come to shove, if we need to, we can rotate everybody. But I think with Gregory Rousseau, I think on his first year, I believe he'll probably be it might be a red shirt freshman type year for him. Maybe like a red shirt season or somewhat, because when you got guys like F.A. Obata, but he's not a lock to make the final 53. I know that much. You got F.A., you got Mario Addison, you got Jerry Hughes, A.J. Epinesa, you got Ed Oliver, Harrison Phillips. Those guys are already in that rotation. So guys like him in this next pick, which is Boogie Basham, I'm going to speak on, they're going to have to hit the ground running. But I think Boogie Basham is going to get more burned than Gregory Rousseau. And I'll tell you why. All right, Carlos Boogie Basham, very big on him from the jump. What I like about him, he's very explosive out the ball, quick hands. He gets around the edge. Isn't not a wasted movement. Not one movement is wasted. And then what I like about him, he has that mean streak. What I always say about people about the guy we need to have a mean streak. We have enough choir boys. We need somebody that's gonna get out there and be a dog and gonna make you feel like you've been in a battle that whole entire game. And I think Boogie Basham he'll be on the game day roster. I think a lot, because he brings a lot of versatility, just like group. He can play one defense end to the right, left. He can play 3 technique. He's a nice tweener. So we need him to drop down. Need to pull Ed Oliver out the game. If Big Ed ain't getting his mind right, or who knows, he might even play 1 technique to take on those double teams. Maybe now Ed Oliver, AJ Ebenezer, and these guys can get loose. But I think Boogie will be he will be the rookie to me that can make that Gabe Davis type of splash. All right, now moving along to my next one. Spencer Brown. He originally plays offensive tackle. Another guy I seen on tape, little film on, where he has a mean streak. Not afraid to finish his blocks. He blocked. I seen somebody posted somewhere. I think it was on Instagram or Twitter. Can't remember. But he was blocking blocking a little DB. I will say that. But when he blocked him, he drove him to the ground. No mercy. Then he did it legally, got up, put his hands up, got out the way. And then he talked a little noise on the end. But we need more guys like that. And possibly if he can, who knows, he can probably push maybe. And these next 2 picks, I think they were either worst case scenario going to be like good depth pieces, somebody who can step in and spot star maybe first year or 2 and possibly take over a starting spot maybe year 3, year 4, something like that. And maybe these 2 guys here with him, Tommy Doyle, they could come in and actually compete and maybe push some of the veterans. Now, Deion Dawkins, I think he's a lock at left tackle. Feliciano, he's the incumbent starter. He's the incumbent. Mitch Morris, I think he pretty much he's a lock, but maybe who knows what one of these other guys can bring to the table. But I think Tommy Doyle, and Spencer Brown, these are guys that were brought in to be good depth pieces or possibly push for those 2 guard positions. I think Darrell Williams showed enough last year, which was a steal when we picked him up. I honestly wanted Darrell Williams the year before we got him, but it was like injury concern and whatever went on, we never got him. But then we ended up getting him this year for the cheap, and I think we got a steal out of him. So that's your right tackle, your left tackle, and your center are pretty much a lot. I think Mongo, he's good. I like him, but he just didn't do it for me. I would like for that left guard position to be somebody who's a bully right there. Mongo can be, but no, don't get me wrong. Mongo stood up for Josh in the championship game, which is cool. You're supposed to do that for your quarterback. But let's be real. On the field sometimes, you never really knew what he was doing. You saw the difference when we actually solidified that left tackle position. You saw the difference when Deion Dawkins, like from his first year to his second year, from now up until now, finally just really put it all together, and he became the left tackle, and that's where he's at. But I mean, those 2 guard positions, Cody Ford, don't know what he brings. We'll see this training camp. But that's my spiel. That's my soapbox talk as far as like the guard. Never was a big fan of Mongo. I like him. I mean, he helped solidify a line that was terrible in 18. I mean, once you get somebody like that in 19 or so, he helped solidify that line. So, but I think we still can upgrade or do better. Now, let me move over to this guy right here, which I really think was like a sneaky good pick. Marquise Speedy Stevenson. Yeah, Speedy Stevenson. What I see him very fast, shifty. Got kick return capability, and he comes immediate competition for Isaiah McKenzie, which I think and at first I was kind of like on the fence with Isaiah McKenzie. I didn't say I didn't like him, but I think he was more or less like just the gadgetry. We could find somebody else to do that. But as I look back on his old body of work, you can't really replace 8-9 touchdowns in the matter he did, even though he got the buck of those, quite a few of those, 3 of those like in the very last game, and the game that didn't matter to us, but mattered more to the Miami Dolphins. But I think with a cat like Marquise Stevenson could come in, push for a roster spot. If not, he probably has special team capability. He could probably be a gunner. He can probably be a pretty decent gunner. I mean, somebody who's that fast, you put him on the outside, just run down there and make the tackle. I think if he doesn't, he will. I think he'll be on the roster game days, only because he brings that capability. Probably can play a little special team, and that doesn't say even if he can return kicks, that just doesn't mean that to me Isaiah is gone or whatnot. He just really will have to outplay Isaiah from day one in training camp in order to take his place. But I like this pick, and move over. Let's move along to Damar Hamlin. All right, Damar Hamlin. All right, what I liked about him. Let me get through my notes. All right, he can play man, not afraid of contact, real secure tackler. Good play recognition. Probably can also play special teams. And I'm bringing up that special teams aspect on the simple fact that you got guys that, when you got guys, if I can get my thoughts together, when you have guys that can't play special teams, you know how our new regime, this regime is about guys that can do versatile things, multiple things. I think he's gonna possibly, to what I've seen out of him, he could possibly take one of those spots away from either Hadapoya, not by their own roster. So don't everybody add me at once. Not maybe once when they decide to say, you know what, we're gonna hang it up. It's over with. I think he could be one of those guys that could possibly play that, or he probably can push like for that slot corner. He might can play a little outside corner because I like what I seen him. I know he can play man. He's very smart. All right, let me get that down. Jump into the comment section. All right, Mike. Once again, yeah, he will be there. They both will be. I'm guess you chiming in on that Gregory Rousseau and Boogie Bash. Yeah, I think Boogie is gonna be the one that's gonna probably make that splash. I might be wrong by Gregory Rousseau not being on the roster, like being a healthy scratch. I could be wrong, but I think Boogie Bash is gonna make more of an explosive impact. I think everybody's kind of got the Google eyes, the first round pick. Yeah, he had 15 and a half sacks, but he didn't play last year. He opted out. So Boogie Bash, I think to me he's going to be the one that's going to make that Gabe Davis rookie type splash. Now, what that means, that doesn't mean he's going to get 10, 15 sacks. Would love to. I mean, we need somebody that can do that. But I think Boogie Bash probably can get about 6, maybe 7 sacks, and possibly, few of those sacks might be in big games or big times, and that's that's really gonna put him more or less on the map of Bills Mafia. All right, now let me move on to my next. All right, if I can get it together. All right, this guy, Rashard Wildgoose. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right. Rashard Wildgoose. All right, now what I seen with him, he brings the wood, very hard hitter, and then of course, immediate competition for Levi and Dane. Now, I'm hard on Levi, but it's not on this. I dislike Levi. He's just not consistent. And then this was a Rashad Wild Goose pick. I think that was made for just in case Dane Jackson really isn't what Beane wants him to be or think he can be. He plays in Rashad Wild Goose. He plays bigger than his size. Very, very tough. And I think he seemed tested. He plays in the Big Ten. Of course, when we play against competition to that level in the end of the Power Fives, I think that you can possibly come over to the league and compete. Possibly now. I'm not going to say that about all of them because there's a lot of busts that come from those Power Fives and then a lot of D3s, smaller FCS schools or whatever, they actually come in and actually become Hall of Famers. Now, and last but not least, you got Jack Anderson. All right, Jack Anderson. As you see, I think Jack Anderson, I don't know. We have to see what he brings in training camp. I think he's more or less just, let's just see. Let's just see. I mean, because if he turns out to be anything, especially if he's a good backup, good spot starter, good cheaper option for the next 4 years or so, 3 years or so, and we can keep that cap situation right where we need to be, knowing that we have guys like Josh and Tremaine, which I will get to in just a second, that whose contracts are coming up, even though they picked up the 5th-year option on those two. But I think that what Jack Anderson, I'll call him Jack Johnson, but that's what Jack Anderson, I think he brings to the table. All right, now take a pause for the calls. If you check me out over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share, and tell a friend the hashtag AATB is in. Let's make the thing trend. All right, now, if you check me out on Facebook, let's make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you stay up to date on everything all about the Bills. All right, now, let's get into extensions, signings. Let's get into extensions, signings, and restructures. All right. Extension signings and restructures. All right, now this offseason, I really like what Beane put together. Make sure I get to it. All right, now. All right, which we all know, he brought in Matt Breida, brought in Emmanuel Sanders. Not two mind-blowing names, but Emmanuel Sanders is something that we needed at that position. Somebody that's like a route running technician that can match the same thing that Stephon Diggs it brings to the table. And hopefully nothing happens to Steph Diggs, but if it were to, our offense will not miss a beat. He might be a step slower, but he can do some of the same thing. And just think about it, if we get Diggs, Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders, how difficult that route combination will be to cover. And with Matt Breida, he brings in that pure speed. Just in case one of these other cats, which is Mouse and Motor, they lacking, then you got a Breida that you can depend on. Somebody who's not selfish, somebody who already knows that, I've already been in the system where I had to share the backfield. And let's be for real, he was really misused in Miami. Yeah, he was misused in Miami. So let's get on into Levi Wallace. Yeah, Levi. Not a big proponent of Levi coming back, but I understand that situation because with Levi, especially with Isaiah, you don't want to bring somebody in who knows how this offseason may go. We might have to cut training camp down a little bit. Might not be a preseason again with COVID and all that good stuff going on with the pandemic. So I understood that you bring those guys in, it's not a learning curve. They don't have to learn the system right on the fly. Because I wanted somebody like Cordell Patterson to replace Isaiah McKenzie. He brings some of those same dimensions, but he may be a little bit more. He wouldn't come in the door knowing what the process is, knowing what the locker room is like. And that's why these guys right here, Isaiah McKenzie and Levi came back. All right. Now move over to Trey White. We got Trey White back, we got Matt Milano back, we got Feliciano, got even Darrell Williams. With those guys, okay, with Trey restructured, he restructured his contract. With that, and that being said, it's like one of the leaders of the team. These guys understand that, we have something at stake. Super Bowl's on the horizon. Let's make sure that, everybody's back in the building to come back and let's do it again. Matt Milano, same thing. When I looked on Spot Track, I said Matt Milano, he may be asked, well, Spot Track it's not the outright. I thought at one point in time it was, but $12 million, I was like, well, I'm not comfortable with $12 million. 8, maybe 9 or so at the most. And which that what came about, what Beane made it work this match. So once he signed Matt Milano, I was like, okay, Matt Milano We got him back. Of course, Darrell Williams isn't coming back, right? So come out the next day or so, brought back Darrell Williams. Then I'm thinking, like, where are we getting all this money? Then the next day, you got Mongo. So, and then there were got guys like Mitch Morris, Addison, all those guys, and Vernon Butler to even come back in and say, you know what, I'll take the pay cut because I know we got it at stake here. So, tell me what y'all think of as far as like this offseason. Before we get out of here, tell me what y'all think as far as this offseason, as far as like what Matt Milano, what Brandon Beane has brought to the table as far as like when bringing back or assembling this team or whatever. Did we do enough? Did we do enough to get over that hump? Are we gonna be that team that can never get over that hump, which is the Kansas City Chiefs? Or do we stumble somewhere else this season? Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. All right, now, before we get out of here, let me look over here. All right, now, we'll go over Josh and Tremaine, the 5th-year option pickup. All right, now. Josh and Tremaine, 5th-year option pickup. Now, with Tremaine, I think whatever happens, if he balls out or he doesn't play up to snuff, I think we're still looking for an option as far as like to replace him, or maybe just because, like, say if he balls out, I think if we want to, and if he prices himself out too much, which it doesn't seem like, it seems like everybody that's on board right now is basically they're coming back. They trust in the process. They drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So I think with Tremaine, I think we'll still maybe look for options just in case if he prices himself out, which, I mean, I think he still has room to grow, but I believe that if you go out there trying to look for another Tremaine Edmonds, it's not just going to be that easy because he brings a lot to the table, though, but he's just not putting it all the way together. And with Josh, that buys you another year. He plays on what, $900,000 contract this year, 5th year, $24 million. Hopefully the everything fluctuate back to where it's supposed to be, like with the cap situation. So, and then we can go ahead and give him that massive contract. All right, let me jump in this comment right quick. All right, Mike, we might stumble on the Colts. You think so? I don't know. I think that's going to be still a good game. I think we'll prevail in that one. If Carson Wentz, if the old Carson Wentz shows up, but the MVP Carson Wentz, I don't know. But that's still yet to be seen once the season starts. Let's hope that no matter who they put in front of us, I'd rather stumble with the Chiefs in the season than go back and go back to the drawing board and beat them in the postseason. But the Colts, the Titans, like I said on my honorable mention earlier in this show, Colts, Titans, Steelers, those are going to be games I think they're going to be a tough draw. But now, as I'm about to get out of here, if you're digging the content, make sure you check me out on All About the Bills YouTube channel. If you into the social media thing, make sure you go to aatb.bullsprout.com. Check out everything from all my social media platforms, everything that all my podcasts on there. Check it out strictly from the interface itself, or you can go to in the little drop down box. You may be subscribed to iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, any of those networks where you get your podcast from. But I'm out of here like last year. Peace. Go Bills.